When a new month awakens, it is not merely the flipping of a calendar page, but the stirring of the cosmic breath itself. The wheel of time turns, the unseen heavens whisper, and hidden doors begin to open where yesterday only walls existed. September 2025 does not arrive as a date. It enters like a subtle wind, carrying with it the fragrance of renewal, a reminder that life is always shifting, teaching us that nothing remains fixed. In Buddhism, the turning of seasons is not a backdrop but a sacred text, each change inscribed with wisdom, telling us that impermanence is the rhythm of existence and transformation is the very heartbeat of truth. This month carries with it 6 sacred numbers and 1 luminous bonus, each number a frequency, not a digit, a vibration, not a symbol. Numbers are not silent, they hum with energy, they chant with destiny. They are the invisible rivers shaping our lives, guiding our footsteps before we even take them. To those with eyes open and ears attuned, numbers become not just mathematics, but mantras, keys that unlock hidden chambers of abundance, clarity, and spiritual awakening. Nostradamus once warned humanity that survival would depend on its ability to recognize the codes of time, for the future speaks not in sentences, but in symbols. Baba Vanga, too, spoke of numbers as doorways through which destiny itself reveals its face. What appears to be chance is often alignment, and what appears to be chaos is the universe speaking in patterns only the awakened can hear. Their visions remind us that the sacred is not hidden, it is simply waiting for us to read the signs. And so, we find ourselves standing at the threshold of September, not as passive observers, but as seekers, ready to step into the current of cosmic wisdom. Each sacred number we will encounter is like a lantern set upon the dark path, illuminating what is already within us but long forgotten. To walk with these numbers is to walk toward our own reflection, to hear the echo of our soul's purpose in the harmony of the universe. This journey is not about prediction alone. It is about remembering. It is about listening to the ancient chant of numbers, the whispers of prophets, and the eternal truths of the Dharma. Together they call us, not to blind faith, but to deeper awareness. And so I ask you, as we prepare to uncover the first vibration, are you ready to step into the rhythm of September's sacred code and discover what the universe has written just for you? Number 12, the Cosmic Student. The number 12 rises first among the sacred vibrations of September, like a humble disciple bowing before the altar of truth. In the tapestry of Buddhist wisdom, 12 holds a profound resonance, for it reflects the 12 links of dependent origination, the chain that binds birth, suffering, and liberation. This number reminds us that nothing exists in isolation, that each moment is born from countless causes, and every choice ripples outward to shape the destiny of all. To walk with the number 12 is to recognize that your path is both your own and not your own. It is a shared rhythm, a song that every soul contributes to in the great dance of life. When 12 appears in your journey, it calls you to embrace the role of student, but also to awaken as a teacher. It whispers that wisdom is not a possession, but a flowing river, and only those who bow before its current can drink from its endless source. In Buddhism, the master does not impose truth, but points the seeker back toward the inner flame already burning within. And so 12 is not about memorizing the lessons of others, it is about discovering your own, then offering them humbly to the world. Nostradamus spoke of knowledge as a wheel, turning across centuries, always returning, never lost. His prophecies remind us that truths once forgotten resurface in new forms, and what was ancient becomes modern again in the cycle of time. Baba Vanga, too, saw visions of humanity awakening to wisdom it had once cast aside, rediscovering ancient sciences, forgotten traditions, and spiritual practices with renewed clarity. In this sense, 12 is the number of rediscovery, the cycle of wisdom returning, inviting you to expand your vision and perceive the eternal lessons hidden within the ordinary. Yet the number 12 also speaks of wealth, not in coins or possessions, but in the treasures of the mind and heart. It tells us that every failure was not a punishment, but a lesson in disguise, that every delay was not denial, but divine timing preparing the soil for a deeper harvest. Under its vibration, your losses become libraries, your struggles become scriptures, and your challenges become sacred scrolls written for your soul alone. The wisdom you gather now will not fade. It will become your true inheritance, guiding you long after material wealth has dissolved. And so the universe asks you to bow, not in defeat but in humility, to remain open, curious, and willing to learn. For only the student becomes the master, and only the one who listens deeply can one day speak with authority. The path of 12 is the path of eternal expansion, the spiral that never ends. The question it places gently upon your heart is this: what new wisdom is September asking you to receive with openness, and will you allow yourself to be transformed by it? Number 88. The infinite prosperity. When the number 88 appears, it does not arrive quietly. It comes like thunder rolling across a still valley, shaking the very ground beneath our feet. This is the vibration of abundance, the echo of prosperity magnified beyond measure. To see 88 is to witness infinity doubled, a symbol of eternal expansion that multiplies every intention and magnifies every offering. In its shape, two endless loops lie side by side, reminding us that true wealth is never linear but cyclical, flowing without beginning or end. It is not a number of scarcity but of overflowing rivers, of blessings too vast to contain in human hands. In the wisdom of Buddhism, 88 reflects balance, karma, and return. What you give is not lost but mirrored back, often in greater measure. To act with generosity under this number is to sow a field that blooms twice as richly. To act with malice is to summon storms that return with double force. Thus, 88 is not merely about wealth, it is about responsibility. The universe does not simply hand us prosperity, it entrusts us with it, testing the purity of our intentions and the steadiness of our hearts. To live within its current is to understand that gratitude, not greed, is the true key to unlocking fortune's gate. Nostradamus spoke of times when the seekers of balance would inherit the earth, when only those aligned with harmony could endure the storms of upheaval. His words echo through the vibration of 88, for it is a number that demands equilibrium between giving and receiving, action and reflection, ambition and humility. Baba Vanga, in her visions, described rivers of wealth not limited to coins or possessions, but flowing as energy, creativity, and unseen blessings that nourished communities and souls alike. Her prophecies remind us that abundance comes not just to enrich the individual, but to uplift the collective. To encounter 88, then, is to step into a frequency of alignment, a rhythm as eternal as the breath. It calls us to move beyond fear of lack and instead trust the infinite flow. The ancients believed that those who practiced gratitude beneath the shadow of this number opened doors that would never again close. Gratitude became the current that carried them, generosity the sail, and purity of intention the compass. In this way, prosperity ceased to be a possession and became a way of living, an endless exchange between self and cosmos. The promise of 88 is not found in clinging to wealth, but in allowing it to move through you, like air through the lungs or water through the riverbed. The more freely it flows, the more infinite it becomes. And so the universe turns its gaze toward you, asking, will you resist the tide, clutching at fragments of security, or will you open your hands and let the current of 88 carry you into the boundless river of prosperity waiting ahead? Number 7. The Seeker's Flame. The number 7 rises gently, like a lantern suspended in the night, offering light to wanderers lost in shadow. It is not a flame that blinds, but one that reveals, not a fire that consumes, but one that guides. To walk with seven is to embark upon the inward journey, where questions echo louder than answers, and silence holds more wisdom than words. This number does not promise worldly applause, but it does offer a path to something deeper, the treasure of inner knowing. It stands as a beacon for seekers who realize that the greatest discoveries are not found in the outer world, but uncovered within the chambers of the soul. In Buddhist teaching, 7 embodies the 7 factors of enlightenment: mindfulness, investigation, energy, joy, tranquility, concentration, and equanimity. Each factor is a stepping stone across the river of ignorance, carrying us closer to the shores of awakening. When we invite the number 7 into our lives, we are reminded that true wealth does not come from possessions, but from clarity of mind, stillness of heart, and the balanced spirit that neither clings nor resists. It asks us to cultivate the flame of awareness, to tend it patiently until it becomes a steady light that can guide not only ourselves but others through the fog of suffering. Nostradamus often wove 7s into his prophecies, seeing in them the symbols of cycles and revelations. To him, 7 was the number of unveiling, the signal that hidden truths would emerge when the time was ripe. His visions remind us that wisdom cannot be forced. It arrives when the seeker is prepared to receive it. Baba Vanga, too, spoke of 7 lights, visions in which seekers, guided by patience and humility, uncovered their destiny step by step. Her words remind us that the journey of 7 is not a race, but a pilgrimage, one where each pause, each reflection, is as sacred as the final revelation. In the month of September, the vibration of 7 speaks of wealth in a different form. It is not the clinking of coins or the accumulation of possessions, but the richness of spiritual clarity, the serenity of a mind free from restlessness, and the joy of a heart at peace. To sit with 7 is to allow yourself to pause amid the storms of life, to breathe deeply, and to hear the quiet voice of guidance within. This is the voice that never misleads, the intuition that whispers truth even when the world shouts confusion. The flame of 7 asks you to slow, to listen, to surrender your chase for answers in the external world, and instead discover the truth already glowing within you. For what good is wealth without wisdom, or power without peace? To honor this number is to recognize that the treasure you seek has been walking beside you all along, waiting for you to notice. And so I leave you with this reflection: what answers are you still searching for in the noise of the world that could already be found by turning inward with trust, stillness, and silence? Number 29. The test of transformation. The vibration of 29 does not arrive like a gentle whisper. It comes like a storm, pressing against the walls of your life, demanding that you stand firm or be swept away. It is not a number of comfort, but of challenge, for true transformation is rarely born ease. In its essence, 29 is the sacred trial, the fire through which the soul must walk in order to emerge purified and radiant. It does not come to break you, though it may feel that way. It comes to strip away illusions, attachments, and fears, so that only your true self remains. In Buddhism, the path toward awakening is not only lined with lotus blossoms, but also with thorns. The Buddha himself spoke of dukkha, suffering, as the first noble truth, reminding us that difficulty is not an error in life, but the very soil from which wisdom grows. The energy of 29 carries this same truth, that liberation requires us to face suffering, to pass through the fires of trial, and to allow ourselves to be reshaped by them. Every hardship is both a test and a teacher, and those who walk through 29 with patience and clarity discover strength they did not know they possessed. Nostradamus often wrote of storms, both earthly and spiritual, that would sweep across nations, cleansing what was corrupted and leaving only what was essential. His prophecies echo the lesson of 29, that destruction often clears the path for renewal, and chaos is sometimes the womb of clarity. Baba Vanga, too, saw visions of trials that purified souls, moments when humanity would be pressed against the weight of suffering only to rise with greater compassion, resilience, and insight. Their foresight reminds us that trials are not random, they are part of a divine architecture that shapes our destinies. To encounter 29 is to stand before a gateway disguised as an obstacle. At first glance, it may appear as punishment, but if you look deeper, you see it is initiation. Wealth under this number does not come in glittering forms. It comes in endurance, resilience, and the quiet power of patience. It is the richness of a soul that has walked through the storm without bitterness, that has bent but not broken, that has emerged with treasures no thief can ever steal, wisdom, courage, and unshakable faith. The universe does not ask you to avoid the storm of 29, it asks you to walk through it with grace. For it is not the storm itself that defines you, but the person you become after it passes. Each trial is a sculptor's chisel, shaping you into the masterpiece you were always meant to be. And so, I ask you to reflect, what challenge before you today is not here to destroy you, but to shape you into the truest version of yourself, the one who already exists within, waiting to be revealed. Number 4, the silent builder. The number 4 does not seek the spotlight, nor does it announce itself with thunder or brilliance. It stands quietly, like a temple pillar weathered by centuries, holding weight without complaint, unmoved by wind or time. To walk with 4 is to step into the rhythm of patience, steady heartbeat of discipline, and the silent strength of structure. This number is not about sudden fortune, but about the kind of wealth that endures, the prosperity built slowly, carefully, with intention. Like the foundation stones of an ancient monastery, it reminds us that the unseen work is often the most sacred. In Buddhism, 4 reflects the 4 noble truths, the foundation of all awakening. They are not loud proclamations, but steady truths that support the entire path of liberation. Suffering exists, it has a cause, it can be overcome, and the way lies in the noble path. Number 4 carries this same vibration of grounding and stability. It teaches us that peace is not an accident, but a structure built through right understanding, right effort, right speech, and right mindfulness. Just as no temple rises in a single day, so too the spiritual path unfolds stone by stone, step by step. Nostradamus once spoke of the builders, those quiet ones who shaped the world not through conquest or wealth, but through patience and enduring labor. His words echo the essence of 4, for true change rarely comes in a single moment. It is the accumulation of countless small acts carried out with persistence. Baba Vanga, in her visions, saw the strength of humanity resting upon the shoulders of those who did not seek fame or glory, but worked faithfully and steadily. These were the silent builders, the unseen guardians, whose efforts would one day lift generations into a better future. In the current of September, 4 reminds you that wealth is not the harvest of haste, but the fruit of consistency. It is the rhythm of daily effort, the slow but steady laying of bricks that one day becomes a fortress. To honor this number is to accept that the truest abundance is not sudden or fragile. It is the kind that cannot be toppled by storms, for it has been rooted deep into the ground. The tree that grows slow and steady will outlast the storm that topples the rush of weaker branches. The whisper of 4 is simple but profound. Do not hurry, do not chase what cannot endure. Instead, strengthen your foundation, for what you build now with patience and discipline will stand for years beyond your own. And so I leave you with this reflection. What foundation in your life most needs strengthening today, so that when the storms of tomorrow arrive, nothing can shake the house of your destiny? Bonus number 11, the Divine Portal. Now we arrive at the hidden code of September, the luminous doorway that stands apart from the others, the sacred bonus number 11. This vibration is not ordinary. It is a divine portal, a threshold where the invisible becomes visible, where energy crystallizes into form. To see 111 is to witness the moment where intention meets creation, when the whispers of thought are carried into the vast chambers of the universe and returned as reality. It is the number of alignment, the gateway of manifestation, a reminder that your inner world is not separate from the outer, but the very architect of it. In the wisdom of numerology, 111 represents the alignment of body, mind, and spirit, the trinity of creation. It is the instant where thought becomes matter, prayer becomes form, vision becomes experience. In Buddhist teaching, this truth is mirrored in the doctrine of mind as the forerunner of all things. All that we are is the result of what we have thought, the Buddha declared, and 111 is the numerical embodiment of that eternal principle. Whatever the mind dwells upon, nourishes and repeats, it brings forth into the world. Nostradamus foresaw an age when humanity would awaken to the hidden power of consciousness itself, realizing that destiny was not simply written, but also shaped by thought. He hinted at a time when the invisible energies of the mind would alter the course of history, when collective vision could open or close the doors of fate. Baba Vanga, too, spoke often of unseen frequencies, codes vibrating through creation, guiding events, and aligning lives in mysterious but precise ways. In the light of her visions, 111 is such a code, an invisible song that weaves intention into existence. When this number appears, it carries both promise and responsibility. It tells you that your thoughts are not idle, they are seeds planted in the soil of tomorrow. Every word is a spell, every focus, a brushstroke, painting the canvas of your destiny. If your inner world is grounded in gratitude, clarity, and compassion, the harvest will be blessings multiplied. But if your thoughts scatter in fear, resentment, or doubt, they too will manifest, creating storms of your own making. 11 is a mirror, reflecting not only what you wish for, but also what you continually feed with attention. The ancients believed that alignment with truth opened hidden doors, and gratitude unlocked portals that no earthly key could touch. 11 is such a portal, an invitation to choose wisely what you carry in your mind and heart. And so the universe leans close, asking you with both gentleness and gravity, what thoughts are you planting today, and do they deserve to become the harvest of your tomorrow? And so, beloved seeker, we arrive at the end of September's sacred path, where the numbers have revealed themselves not as cold digits, but as living symbols, breathing with destiny. 12, the cosmic student. 88, the river of infinite prosperity. 7, the seeker's flame. 29, the test of transformation. 4, the silent builder. And the luminous bonus. 111, the divine portal. Each number stands alone as a teacher, yet together they weave into a tapestry, a sacred mandala of wisdom and guidance for the soul willing to listen. These vibrations are not accidents, nor fleeting curiosities. They are threads in the unseen loom of existence, carefully woven into the very fabric of your September journey. Each one carries a sacred call to learn with humility, to open to prosperity, to turn inward for wisdom, to endure through trials, to build with patience, and to manifest with clarity. Together, they form a path of awakening, an invitation to live with awareness, to see life not as fragments, but as a great and interconnected whole. Buddhist wisdom teaches that the path is never found outside, but always within. These numbers are mirrors, reflecting not something foreign, but what already stirs in the depth of your being. They are the voice of impermanence, reminding you to grow, the rhythm of karma, reminding you to give and receive, and the flame of mindfulness, reminding you to return home to yourself. In their silent language, the universe is guiding you to remember that your life is not random, it is unfolding with purpose. Nostradamus, and Baba Vanga, those visionaries of time, both knew that humanity would be guided by signs when the world grew uncertain. They spoke of hidden codes, of frequencies, of lights that would awaken only those ready to see. Perhaps these numbers are such signs, subtle yet undeniable, waiting for the awakened to read them. They are not demands, but invitations, not prophecies carved in stone, but possibilities waiting for your choice. And so the wheel of September has turned, and the codes have been revealed. The question now passes to you. Will you walk with these vibrations, allowing them to shape your thoughts, your choices, and your destiny? Or will you let them drift away like whispers in the wind, unheard and unclaimed? Beloved seeker, pause and listen. Which of these sacred numbers speaks most deeply to your soul? And how will you allow its vibration to guide the steps of your September journey?